Let me gonna start the story right. Don't let it confuse ya. They just tryna keep up, be ashamed.
Yo, welcome back to another season. We just wrapped up season 1 with my guy Noel. Now we back with season 2 of the Black on Tour, where we try to make sure we bring intentionally black around here and showcasing many great black owned businesses around the nation and hopefully around the world. No matter of fact, for surely around the world. But today we got a wonderful group here. We got two brothers who have came together and brought a new twist and a new idea to what we call drinking tea. You know, normally we think of drinking tea like something that the Queen of England might do, sitting around eating crumpets and drinking tea. But today we're doing it a little better. We're bringing our own culture to it, and of course we got to bring our own flavor to it as well. And so today I have Crandon and Randon, and we're bringing you nothing but a tea thing. How y'all doing today?
Good, man. We appreciate the opportunity to sit with you guys today.
Yeah, man, this has been a pleasure. We appreciate the invite, man. We're looking forward to this podcast. So I'm happy to be here.
And so, just pretty much just give us a quick introduction of, yourself and what just pretty much inspired you to get into the tea business.
So a little bit about me. My name is Randon. I'm the co-founder of Nothing But a Tea Thing with my brother. A little bit about our background. We're originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, from a small town called Baker, Louisiana, man. So parents moved to Dallas back in the 90s, and so we uprooted us, got us, became Texans, I guess you could say, right? Graduated from Duncanville High School. Myself, I went to University of North Texas, where I studied journalism. After I graduated, got married, did a typical thing, got married, had kids, got married to my wife for 14 years.
Congratulations.
And I have 2 children, a 14-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. And so my professional background isn't actually in journalism, it's in supply chain, logistics, and project management. And so, but I've always had a passion for entrepreneurship. A lot of my influences have been business leaders and business mentors, and so I was the guy who was reading those bios. But my favorite type of book is a biopic, you know what I'm saying? And so I would say being around my father, my grandfather, they also instilled a lot of some of those foundational things as far as ownership, entrepreneurship, and community service. And so that's kind of what led us to even starting the business together.
And we grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Later as kids, we ended up coming out to Dallas, Texas. And that's where I grew up in Duncanville High School, where I ended up graduating from. Later, ended up getting married to my beautiful wife, Chelsea. And we ended up spending some time just in Houston, Texas, and then later moving out to New York. And so that's just history about just me traveling around. But my brother mentioned also about entrepreneurship and living in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and having entrepreneurship being like one of those things that kind of developed us into looking into getting into business. Back in the day, my father had a local convenience store in a community called Baker, Louisiana. And so with that taught us and kind of was ingrained in us is just to go and kind of build that entrepreneurship spirit and put it inside our family. So now me and my brother decided to just go get into business. So that's just pretty much a little bit about us.
Grabbing what you said about you said it was your grandfather, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your grandfather. Can you give us a little bit of detail about your grandfather's business, and what can you remember about the business in Bakersfield?
We don't remember nothing because we weren't around back then. But a little bit about our grandfather, man, and so just to clear the air, right? Because this is the number one question we get: are we twins? We are not twins.
Oh, okay.
I got 6 years on this guy, you know what I'm saying? And he got 6 inches in height on me. So I picked on him a little too much, you know what I'm saying? So God gave him that height so he can pick back, you know what I'm saying, on me or whatever. But a little bit about our family roots. My grandfather was a World War II veteran. He served in World War II, came back home, obviously, to a small town that he grew up in called Clinton, Louisiana. Not a lot of opportunities for blacks at the time. You guys know the story, right? But he did have a passion for 2 things, and that was baseball and cattle, you know what I'm saying? And so he actually played a little bit of Negro League baseball as well when he came back, and he was, you know, I can say he couldn't find a job, but he went back to what he knew, and that was living off the land. And so at one point, my grandfather had about 150 head of cattle, and I don't know if anybody has any background in agriculture, but that is a lot to maintain for one man. And so, when he married my grandmother, they began to, you know, obviously populate the earth with children. and so that little house and that little farm, you know what I'm saying, became a little bit, I ain't gonna say it was too much, but they wanted more opportunity, and a lot of the good jobs were moving into the city, right? And so they he uprooted his family, moved to Baton Rouge, found a home in the Button community. And so from there, he was employed with Dow Chemical Plant, where he retired. And so, unfortunately, we lost our grandfather in '94. And so, but I because I have 6 years on him, I have more, I guess, memories of him and during my childhood, you know. And so, I just remember my grandfather just being a real cool guy, you know what I'm saying, just a real kind man. He was real stern though. He's real strict, which is typical for Nightons. Right. You know, you guys get to know us. We're not, you know, easy people to get along with, but we'll give you straight off our back. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But my father, just, you know, my grandfather having a better job, moving his family for more opportunity, it encouraged his kids to, you know, excel in their education. My father, who was like all-American football player at the time for his high school and college, Southern University's like a legend there, right? And so you'll hear the stories later, but he pursued his business degree at Southern University. Didn't start off as an entrepreneur immediately, but was always having good ideas. You know, always talking about those ideas, and he finally took a step out on faith and started his convenience store. And that was my first intro to entrepreneurship, because I was an employee at his store, you know what I'm saying, cleaned and swept the floors, and I stocked shelves. And there were times where he had to go away, and I had to, you know, also be LP and security and a cashier. But that was one of my fondest memories that I have with my grandfather, and so a little bit of background about our family history. You know, you got something to add to it?
Yeah, as my brother said, man, when my father finishing getting his business degree at Southern University, and just building that convenience store within inside the community, it really led us to being able to see entrepreneurship at a younger age. While seeing that entrepreneurship, we just continue to keep that mantra throughout our life, and just always. It's funny because, like, if you know us and see us around the house, we'll see something funny around the house or on TV, like, man, I bet you we can do that. You know, start a business doing that, or come up with a crazy idea and try to do it. And this brought me back to just why, like, we did the tea. You know, we saw tea, and we've gone to high tea experiences, and just I saw the vibe with it. And when we saw how it brought people together, we was like, you know, man, we could really bring that to the culture. Right. And it's kind of like why we decided to get into tea. But yeah, man, I just think that overall, like, that entrepreneurship spirit and things like that kind of molded us and brought us into where we are now.
Okay, absolutely. You know, what you said about the tea experience leads me to thinking about, you know, so yeah, like, pretty much what made you say, you know what, I want to go into the tea industry? Like, what's the story behind that? Because I do remember reading somewhere where you guys were in New York, and that's kind of like how the conversation sparked. Yeah. So what is it that made you guys say, man, let's get into the tea industry, and we can make a killing doing it?
I think the tea industry is just, first and foremost, I love the idea of how, like, people have the high tea experience, you know. Like, I was in New York when my brother came out and visited me out in New York, and we actually, you know, I have to give a shout out. My wife had mentioned a place and took me to a place before in the past, and I checked out, and then I was like, my brother came down, I was like, yo, I think we got something, man. And so he came in town, we and him went together and checked out the spot, and then ever since then, we was like, you know what, I could see us putting a twist to it, because everything, I feel like in black culture has like I say, sauce. It has a flavor, you know, a little flair to it. And I could see getting into tea and seeing how, if we put our sauce on it, and change, put some culture to it, you know, black culture to it, it could really be something incredible. And so, just the idea behind getting into tea, and the history behind tea, and how tea has been around and is used for so many different things. It just speaks to like being a humanitarian, and just like so much being tied into just being connected to the earth. You know what I'm saying? Just with just using tea for flavors, and we just tied all that together with just a company, and it just really just brought us to want to get into tea, being in the tea field.
Yes, sir. A lot of times, people will say not to go into business with family. And so, I mean, me personally, I'm an advocate for family business, because if you think about all of the, the largest companies and corporations, they're family businesses. So what made you two as brothers go ahead and say we're going to come together and make this pretty much a family business?
But I think one of the main reasons that I wanted to go into business with my brother is because I know his personality. I know his triggers, and I've known him. How old are you?
I'm 33 right now.
33 years of his life, right? And so, if anybody knows, my brother is me, right? And so I feel like the things that my strengths, are his weaknesses, and his strengths are my weaknesses, and it's like we're able to work together, and because we know each other's strengths, we know each other's weaknesses, we know how to jump in and protect each other, and we also know how to make decisions when the other one can't.
Okay.
And that's the number one thing I see that's a problem with leadership, is that there's not sound decision making. And so for us to be a thriving business, we have to be able to rely on one another. And I don't know if there's a co-founder that I could have found that would be sufficient as my brother, you know what I'm saying? And then and proficient, because one thing about my brother, he's a go-getter, and he's a self-starter, and he's actually this is not his first business, and so I've seen how diligent he is, how meticulous he is with his own running his household. You know what I'm saying? How he manages his personal life, and his entrepreneurial efforts as well. And so it was. He's always been kind of like an inspiration to me to continue, because I'm that guy that has those ideas. Right. He's talking about a moment ago. So I see a box, I'm like, man, we could do a box company. Right, and that's me. But I'm not the one that's gonna jump on it. He's gonna be one, like, he's gonna take the idea and run. With it. So he kind of, like I said, he empowers. He empowers me, and I know that a lot of times I do the same for him, and so it just made sense for me. Outside of why other people do it, I know for me and for him, we are a good team, and we've always been a good team, because we've always been positive for one another and empowered each other. So
it's beautiful.
Man, I appreciate that, brother, man. So that's just love. It's nothing like having, talking love over the mic and getting the roses out there, And man, doing business with my brother was a no-brainer. Honestly, it was just something that I'm happy the time lined up, and I was able to do it. I think just sometimes we wish we could have did it earlier. Sometimes time is everything. Sometimes that's just when it's time for it to happen. I just say, like, one thing about my brother is just working with my brother, and we're talking about things, weaknesses and strengths. One of his strengths is just being creative. He can come up with something out of nowhere, out of thin air, even down to our logo. We were reaching out to different people and trying to get our logo designed and giving people our vision. And man, if we showed you some of the stuff we had came up with originally, we wouldn't be here probably just sitting there with a podcast talking to you. But one thing is to show, like, even with our logo, we have ourselves within it. And if you look at our logo, it looks like a leaf dripping in the water, but really it's yin and yang. And so what it is the leaf, and it's a cup of tea that is drip going in it. And so one thing about this is, like, you can't have one without the other. Right. You can't have tea without the leaf, and you can't have leaf without the tea. You know what I'm saying? The water with the drip. So the whole tea experience. So our logo really just speaks to who we are as brothers, and we put that inside that logo. And that's just a little bit of a slide note, a hint of like who we are right there within on the logo itself.
Wow.
Right. Even with the two droplets. Yeah. That's me and my brother, and then the X on both sides. X marks the spot, and there is no spot. Me and him are the spot. We are the business.
Yeah, that's deep. It's beautiful whenever your logo has actual meaning behind it. It's not just the basic, I just want to throw this on it and throw that in because it look cool. Because that's a story within itself, and people like that. People like being able to have a product to where, you know, you have the product has more meaning behind it than just you selling tea.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so you guys do have such a beautiful meaning behind your brand as well as the tea in itself. And so I definitely have to commend you guys. And you know, they were so generous today to invite me to a brunch that they are having. And so, you know, we're gonna pack it up and go inside and get a little taste of this food and get a little action on inside as well.
Tell them come and see. This reality, no fantasy. Stone is hard belief. Just don't bite the hand that feeds you, please. Substantial as can be. She's addicted to my energy. Fake love never leaves. Watch those snakes that blend in with the leaves. You dare to dream, no fantasy.
Right, so you know, we're back here, you know, part 2 of the Black On Tour with my guys Randy, Crandon, and Nothing But a Tea Thang. And here right now, we've been served a wonderful brunch. You know, we have 2 fantastic chefs and bakers here. We got CT, the chef, and we have Rhapsody Treats as well that are going to be, you know, serving us up some fantastic brunch eateries, you know, that we have here. And along with this good brunch here, they also poured me up some good tea as well that I'm gonna be able to try for you all here on the show. And so just pretty much just jumping into it, what products do you guys have to offer?
Actually, we have a variety of different flavors available. One which is a hibiscus tea, which is called Queen Teens. Followed by that, we have another one called Greenlit, which is our green tea.
And then what we have, we're going to serve for you today, Tariq, is our Rose Blush, which is a white tea. And then our Black and Bougie tea, which is obviously a black tea with notes of cinnamon and orange. All right, so in the mugs, we've already prepared for you the Rose Blush, you know, for you to sample. But I'll go ahead and pour you up some. Just poured for you today, Tariq, was our Black and Bougie tea which has notes of cinnamon and orange. That's going to be in a clear glass, and then what's in your glass? What's in your cup is Rose Blush, which is a white tea with a layer of peach.
Let me go ahead and get some of this Black and Bougie, right?
Yeah,
Black and Bougie. Man, there's no sweetener in here right now.
No sweetener.
That's cool. I like mine raw. I guess that's what you call it. You know what I'm saying? Boom. All right. Well, let me get that.
Oh yeah. All right.
Boom. Yes, sir. Oh yeah. This is a nice flowery fragrance. You said, was there a citrus in here? Did you say?
Yes, it's
I can taste that.
small notes of orange.
There's definitely some small notes of orange in here. You know,
Yeah, but that's not overbearing, you know.
definitely not overbearing at all. Most black tea is too bitter.
Yeah.
Like the tea that I drink, like I said, I like to drink my tea, you know, with nothing in it. Just brew it, boom, and I'm drinking. And so whenever I'm drinking black tea, it's normally too bitter, and I'm like, nah, I gotta add something in there.
Right.
But this here, this is the smoothest black tea that I've ever tasted. You know, I mean, I ain't been to too many high-end tea spots, but the ones I have been to don't compare to this black tea here.
Oh yeah, man, we put a lot of effort into curating a beverage that not only we can enjoy, but we wouldn't mind sharing with our friends and family as well. So, you know, we do a lot of samplings, and this is what really catered to our flavor senses, I guess you can say, our taste buds. So we appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
And that's why we named it Black and Bougie. You know, it's black tea, but the bouginess is the sweet smoothness of those cinnamon, that cinnamon and that orange notes that's inside of it.
Absolutely, I can concur. This is definitely a good black and definitely bougie tea that we have here. I'm talking about, like you said, we got orange notes.
Notes.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't get more musical than that there, you know what I'm saying? And we were talking about how you guys curated the tea. So my question would be pretty much like, so y'all kind of put these flavors together by hand, right? So you would say you put these together by hand. So what's the process of you guys putting your flavors together by hand and then tasting it and saying, okay, yeah, that's the one?
Well, yeah, it's more one of those things where you have a large different flavors you go through, and you just kind of mix and match. You find that vibe, that feel you're looking for, man. And I think when you hit it, kind of like you mentioned before, you've had black tea before in the past, and you just know what not to look for. And so we just kind of just taste different flavors, and once we hear that one, taste that one, we know it's gonna be the banger, I guess, the one that's gonna be fired. Then we just like, okay, that's the one. Me and my brother, we spend like weeks and months on just like tasting it and trying to do it different. We'll taste it different places. He'll go to my house, I go to his house. We'll take it, on a car ride or whatever, just trying different environments, because I think it reminds me of like real good music, just good songs. You got to hear a good song in different places, and really, I feel like tea is the same thing, and I think that's why like you can have tea here, and then you have a totally experience having tea somewhere else, and all the experiences are all good. Your favorite song is good no matter where you hear it,
right.
But some places you hear it hits a little harder, so
that's right.
For sure.
Hey, comparing tea to music, that's the first time I've heard that, but that's a very, very interesting and accurate perspective. Just like you said, you could listen to a song in the shower and it's gonna hit different how you listen to the song in the club. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you drink a tea in one event, it might hit different. You drink a tea in another event. Like me personally, because I don't drink coffee, so my go-to, in the morning, it's gonna be tea. Yeah. So a tea that could wake me up and get me going and kind of energize me for the morning and get me going in whatever I'm doing for the day, versus a tea at night, that I want something to just kind of go with my meal or just calm me down for the night. Right. And I see you guys offer caffeine-free flavors as well, to kind of go over the process of the caffeine-free flavors. Most people think of tea, they think of green tea and black tea. Or they think of like ginger or something like that. So as far as the feel that you guys are going for with your caffeine-free teas, just kind of break that down as well.
The one that's actually caffeine-free is not necessarily tea. It's hibiscus. So it's a queen tea, it's a flower. So we essentially have that as an option for people that like hibiscus teas. And that just pretty much goes along with just the trend of everything we have, like calling it queen teas. It has a nice, vibrant, like I said, I would say, what is that? More of a red, deep red, or a big purple. Yeah, it's just royal type,
regal,
the essence of it, the regal essence of it. And it just really plays very well within the collective of all our different flavors. And so, yeah, we just try to give different options for everyone to try. We have a lot more coming too, man. So just, we just hope people continue to stay tuned and try what we have right now. And we love the feedback. We love people to try our teas and let us know what flavor is their favorite, where they like to drink the teas. We've had people drink teas and leave comments and different stuff on our Instagram at nothingbutateathing.com plug.
My brother mentioned nothingbutateathing.com, and if you, because you mentioned how we pair tea and the tasting and the whole experience with music, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if you go to our website and into the tea room, each tea has its own audio pairing playlist, that Spotify playlist for each individual tea. So this is a vibe. This is really a vibe. Each tea has its own vibration, and so when we drink tea, it's important that we have music, right? Because it's always an energetic setting, right? Mm-hmm. If we're studying, that's still some sort of flow of energy, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And so if you get a chance, man, check out the playlist for each tea. Yeah, it'll give you a little bit more, a little bit more, give the tea a little bit more personality.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the reason we came up with that playlist is to try to give an experience virtually, with everything was going on with COVID last year. And we had, at the beginning of the year, we actually had our first event, was like our grand opening, which we had something called a Trap and Tea. And in that event, it was awesome. And we had a DJ, There we had music, we had the same thing we have here, but we was actually in like a brick and mortar location. And what we took from that experience was how we can continue to bring that energy and vibe into people's homes without them having to be inside of the four walls. And so you definitely go on the site and check out playlists and kind of sip the tea and kind of take you to what it will be like in one of our high teas as we try to build things together and put that culture and our swag on it.
Because he mentioned the Trap and Tea Party from last year. Also want to say congratulations on our first year of business. Because this is official our first year of business. And unfortunately, again, we weren't able to have another Trap and Tea event, so we decided to have it today with you, brother. So
I'm honored.
So that's really the great reveal, man. That this is the Trap and Tea, and why not have it with Tariq and your podcast, man? I think it was awesome. It was a pleasure meeting you. Just off lip, just a little small talk we had before leading up to it. You just thought it would be great to just do this all at one time.
That's amazing. I'm on camera on. I'm honored. No, I really do appreciate that because I know business has been tough for a lot of people, especially starting up a business during the times that we're living in right now, and really trying to figure out ways to adjust because you're not able to have those public events and you're not able to really put on certain do vendor tables and things like how most people would whenever we trying to do that guerrilla marketing, if you will. And so to be able to make something into a virtual type of experience, really giving somebody an experience still. And I'm over here, trying to write down like, okay, audio pairing, all right, that's cool, because I'm gonna make sure I put that, on here for y'all so they can see that. I definitely, and so I definitely gotta say I thank you guys for accepting my invitation, and so I thank you for putting on this event for me. For us, everybody, but inviting me to it because especially people don't understand, the sentimental value that we have as entrepreneurs to our businesses and towards every event and function that we put on. So to really be a part of this with you guys is definitely an honor and a pleasure for me. So I thank you guys. And as we're getting ready to wrap it up here, I just need to know, or you can tell the people watching, what is it that you guys have planned for the next 5 to 10 years with Nothing But a Tea Thang?
Oh, we got some amazing things coming up for the next 5 to 10 years. Especially my brother here and his creative mind, and me and my execution just trying to get the job done. We got a lot of good things coming. Like I said, mentioned before, we're working on, obviously we had before Trap and Tea, so we want to bring that and just take it to another level. And then, like I said, we have online, we have the music, you can go find that to tie on with the teas. So we just basically try to provide that virtual experience. The podcast right here, this is already going to just take us, create some new ideas, to bring some kind of history on who we are as a company to tie back into the teas. So I definitely think we have a lot to look forward to, and just keep your eyes open for what to see.
Sure, definitely, man. We just the whole idea of being a small business is, doing the same thing right and consistently, and we hope to continue to look to scale our business, potentially being in some markets, some marketplaces, networking and partnering with other cafes or hotels or boutiques where we can potentially offer Nothing But a Tea Thang tea in retail locations, right? So we're open, but sky's the limit as well. So,
definitely.
And since we have this magnificent tea here, and we gonna put this pinky out, and we gonna do a toast. I'm gonna do a toast for you guys to have magnificent success in the future of your business as you continue to go forward and you continue to grow. And I hope we are able to stay connected and definitely do more and more events together in the future as well.
That's it, man.
That's a wrap.
Let me gonna start the story right. Don't let it confuse ya. They just tryna keep up. Be ashamed if I have to. Got too many options. Just know I ain't stopping. You know I'm the captain. Put this thing in autopilot.